Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of The Daily. It's Monday, June 20th, here with Greg Lawless. I'm Nick Furshaw. Greg, let's take a look at some of the biggest headlines over the weekend. And we'll start Sunday night with the New York Red Bulls. A 3-3 draw against the Portland Timbers out of Geldwin. This one got a little bit crazy, but the Red Bulls come out with a strong result.
Yeah, well, Nick, we've been saying it from the beginning of the season how fun it is when you go and play in Vancouver. Well, now the fun is down in Portland. 3-3 it ends up, but it should have been a 3-2 win for the Timbers. They let it get away in stoppage time. Really, the referee let this one get away a little bit in stoppage time. Thierry Henry getting a red card for pretty, controversially here, because all he does really is just tap the back of Adam Moffat's head in this case, and he gets sent to the showers, but it doesn't matter. The Red Bulls come back. Dwayne De Rosario sets up a penalty and then finishes the PK himself for the draw. That's a big result on the road, I think, for New York.
First red card in his MLS career for Thierry Henry, and now a 6-game unbeaten streak for the Red Bulls. And up at Geldwin, the Portland Timbers, who was so great up there in the beginning of the season, they haven't won in their last 3 games.
Yeah, and also about Thierry Henry, he has tied Landon Donovan now for the lead in goal scoring because he also got a goal in this one.
Well, let's move on to the U.S. national team. They were obviously in action on Sunday down at RFK Stadium in Washington. The quarterfinals of the Gold Cup, they get a 2-0 win, a very cathartic win for the national team over Jamaica.
And speaking of Landon Donovan, he was not in the starting lineup. A little bit of a tactical shift for Bob Bradley, and it ends up being that Clint Dempsey plays the best game he's played so far in the Gold Cup. Jermaine Jones gets the other goal, but I think the real star in this one, Juan Agudelo from the New York Red Bulls. He comes on when Josie Altidore gets injured with a little bit of a thigh problem in the first half, and Agudelo is everywhere. He ends up setting up the second goal for Dempsey, causing all kinds of problems for the Jamaicans there. Now they move on to play Panama again. A little bit of a rematch, a little bit of revenge possibly in the semifinals.
You mentioned Landon Donovan. It's the first time he hasn't started for the U.S. national team since 2007, and the Nats now unbeaten all time in 18 games against Jamaica. Again, this was a very big win for them to get back on track. We'll see how they do against Panama in the semifinals. Let's take a look at Landon Donovan's MLS team, the LA Galaxy. With or without him, Greg, they're doing very well. They're on a 9-game unbeaten streak. They go to Colorado, go to Commerce City, a tough place to play. They get a 3-1 win over the Rapids.
Yeah, and it's a big performance really by Juninho in the midfield. He is really emerging as one of the better midfielders in the league right now. He gets a goal, but he was also just active all day long for the Galaxy. Chad Barrett also with a goal, and Chris Burchell with a play that sets up an own goal off of Drew Moore. Connor Casey back now for the Rapids, looking a little bit better. He gets the goal for the Rapids in this one, but not enough. LA just look incredibly strong. They're showing their depth each time they go out there and get results without some of their big guns. Because again, in this one, David Beckham, a late scratch as well. So they were missing Beckham, Donovan, and don't forget Donovan Ricketts in the goal.
And for the Rapids, we saw the return of Omar Cummings, but the end of that 9-game unbeaten streak. I want to say a big congratulations to Pablo Mastroeni. Yes. His 300th career cap in MLS. Only 14 guys in the career of this league have ever done it, so congrats to Pablo on that one. Let's move to DC United, Greg. We mentioned a little bit of controversy in that New York game. There's some controversy with another leading scorer in this league. Charlie Davies gets a PK call against Real Salt Lake late. What did you think of the call?
Well, I think that anybody who watches the replay of this one will say that should not have been a penalty. Chris Wingert goes in for the tackle, and he does not get Charlie Davies. Davies going down before the play even almost materializes. We saw him do it earlier in the season when he went down pretty easily after a little bit of a tap from Omar Gonzalez. This time, it's against Real Salt Lake. Wingert himself says, I didn't touch him. And I think Davies, on the other hand, look, he's a competitor. His team is down a goal late in the game. He's going to do whatever he can. He cons the referee in this one, gets the PK, they put it away, they get a result on the road against a very good Salt Lake team.
A lot of people say that's one of Davies' best attributes, is how he plays and how he can get a call when it counts. Before we go, we also want to mention some very good vibes up in Vancouver after a tough week in the sports world up there. The Vancouver Whitecaps snapped that MLS record, 14-game winless streak. They get a 1-0 win over the Philadelphia Union.
And if you haven't seen the goal by Alan Rochat, check it out on MLSsoccer.com. It is a beautiful curler into the far post that wins it for the Whitecaps.
And again, a big one for the Whitecaps after all that Stanley Cup drama and all the fans out in the streets. So Vancouver fans very happy. For all the coverage of this weekend's game, log on to MLSsoccer.com. You can find complete highlights and recaps and all the coverage of the Gold Cup.